of all. Let's go over that. Who can raise their hand and tell me what the 5 senses are? Melissa. Can you answer in a complete sentence, please? Yeah. So, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. All right, we already have listed taste in the story. What's another sense that was used in the story? Leslie.
She saw that there was.
So what sense would that be in the what sense would that be in the story? And answer in a complete sentence. You can do that.
The sense of seeing.
So you could put that in the sentence. The sense in the story that Ruth used.
That Ruth used was seeing the witch was turning.
Of seeing what the witch was turning into. Yes, she was using her eyes, and she saw that the witch started turning green, and she had big black warts coming out of her face. So, sight. And it's that simple. Taste, sight. Now, in our story, in the story here, does the story have at least 5 paragraphs that are indented? At least 5 paragraphs that are indented? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Everybody needs to respond. I need to see a response from everyone here. And so, it's okay if you don't see it, just the story has at least 5 paragraphs that are indented. You'll have your own worksheets to work with. Okay, yes, it does. As we can see, the story, each paragraph is separated here by a space. And unfortunately, this story I did not indent in the story, but I made spaces between the paragraphs, which is fine. You can do that as well in your stories. Do you all know what indenting is? You worked on that before, yes. When you move it over. So, yes. Okay. So, does this story have a beginning, a middle, and an end that includes a character, setting, conflict, and resolution? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Okay, it looks like we all have a yes. All right, and for the colored pencils, we're going to start our underline. So it says here, underline the characters in purple. Okay, who are the characters of the story? For the story that we read. Yes, Alexandra. Ruth? Okay, can you answer that in a complete sentence, please?
All the characters are Ruth.
How would you say that?
Is
You could say that one of the characters is Ruth, and you could say one of the characters in this story was Ruth.
one of the characters in the story is Ruth.
Is Ruth, right. So here's Ruth. So I'm underlining Ruth. Here's Ruth again. Okay, so underline parts of the setting in orange. What was the setting of the story? What was the setting? And you can, the setting, part of the setting is actually in this first paragraph. Melissa.
One of the settings are
What's that?
That's cool.
her house.
One of the settings, what's her house? Yes. Now, what about, can we identify, all right, can we get back to quiet, please, and listening? In this first paragraph, let's find part of the setting in this first paragraph, and it's right there. What would that be? And I'm just going to call on someone because I think we should all see it. Alex.
The setting is in a land called Toulouse.
Yes. So I would underline that in orange. That's part of the setting. Okay. Now, what about the conflict? Do you remember what the conflict was in the story? Do you remember what the conflict was in the story? And I'm just going to call on someone. Brianna, do you remember, were you here that day that we did this? The day that we read through the story?
Yeah.
You were here, okay. So, do you remember what the conflict was in the story in the Golden Web? What was the conflict?
With that kid.
Okay, and can you say that in a complete sentence?
The conflict is that Ruth got kidnapped by a witch and she went.
Okay, that was the so the conflict was Ruth. So Ruth, let's see, Ruth wanted to scream. She was trying to say thank you and realized no words were coming out of her mouth, and the pretty lady was now turning into a toxic green witch. Yikes. And then Ruth, wake up. Ruth was sure that her mom was waking up for school, and she had just, the worst nightmare. Okay. Now, do you think this would be a part of the conflict? She was alone in a basement with only one window, but about 10 feet up. Would that be a good example of what the conflict was? No? Why do you think not? And for the conflict, there's going to be a lot of underlines. There's going to be, do you think that's a conflict? Do you think that's a problem, that if she woke up alone in a basement without anyone that she knew there, would that be a conflict? Would that be a problem? If you woke up alone in someone's basement and you didn't know how you got there, do you think that would be a problem?
Yes.
So why don't we underline that, okay? With only one window but about 10 feet up. And this will help you start to get clearer and clearer about the conflict in your stories. Now what about the resolution? What about the resolution? The resolution is going to be in green. What was the resolution of this story? What was the resolution of this story? Jasmine.
The resolution was that the spider built a web which escaped.
Great. Can you say that a little louder so everyone can hear? That was said really well, Jasmine.
The resolution was that the spider built a web and the web fell on the witch and the spider and Ruth escaped.
Yes. They both escaped. And you gave a lot of details too in that story. You gave the whole entire sentence actually. Okay, let's see. Just as they were almost to the top, the witch came in. So it says it in this paragraph here. And I'm going to underline the web came crashing down right on top of the green warty witch. And luckily Ruth and Charlotte made it outside. That's part of the resolution, right? Would that be part of the resolution? Yes? Okay. Is this making sense to you of what the activity is going to be? I don't think that I need to go through the punctuation of what we have here, of punctuation blue, misspelled, and yellow. I think you all get that. If you all get that, give me a thumbs up so that you can get started on your own independently. And I need to see everyone that they get it. Melissa, I want to make sure everyone gets this so I don't need to explain it anymore, okay? What you're going to do, okay, this is someone's story, yes? So this is someone's story. You're all going to get a story that is not your own. You get to read through the story, and you get to go through this checklist on your own. And you'll have, we'll start this up after recess, okay? You're going to fill out this checklist that we were doing together so you would understand it. And you're going to fill out, you're going to read the instructions again on this. Leslie, everyone, and then you're going to read someone else's story and fill this out, and then you will put it together, and you will return it to the person. And I'll set that all up for you when we get back. Okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thumbs up for yes. Thumbs up for honest.